Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A on my channel since I haven't had an updated one in quite some time. I hope everybody actually had a very Merry Christmas and that they had a good time with their family and friends as much as they could during this pandemic. I know that we celebrated Christmas Eve with my in-laws and then celebrated Christmas with my family. So I just hope that everybody was able to enjoy themselves no matter the circumstances of what 2020 has been handed to us. But for today, my Q&A is just going to be an updated version of my last one. I haven't been very active on YouTube as much as I would like to over the last several months. Life has just been very different. Things have changed, and realistically, I just live a busy life, honestly. But I have had a lot going on in just personal life and with my health, and then just in general with my son doing virtual school. He hasn't been to school since March. He's actually been doing virtual for 9 months now. So he's been really missing his friends. So he's looking forward to the day that they do go back, which my husband lost his job during the pandemic. So he's the one that stays home with him and does virtual while I work. So I'm going to get started with the Q&A. I took some questions offline that would be some good icebreaker questions just to bring up and maybe even elaborate on during this Q&A. And if there's any other questions you guys might have, you can leave them down in the comments below, and I will gladly do a part 2 of this one if I get enough questions that you guys have from me. Alright, to begin, number 1, what is your name? My name is Monica. Number 2, what is your age? I am almost 31. I'll be 31 in February. I actually do have an 8-year-old son. He just turned 8 in October. And then I've been married to my wonderful husband for about 10 and a half years now. And we've been together a little over 11 years. So it's crazy just to see how young I was when I got married and how everything is just changed. I've been married 10 years now, so it's just really crazy to see how fast the last 10 years have truly flown by. Where do you live? Right now we live in Burton, which is a little city right outside of Flint, and it's in Michigan. We live in the same house that we've lived in for a little over 8 years now. I moved in here when I was probably 7 months pregnant with our son. So we've been here a long time, but this is home to us, and we don't ever plan to move ever again. So this is probably likely our forever home. Number 4, do you have any children? Like I already said, I do have one child. He is 8. His name is Elijah. We call him Eli. And we have 2 angel babies that are in heaven. I miscarried one before my son, and then I miscarried the next child when my son was about 6 months old. So we have one kid, and we won't be having any more. I had a hysterectomy in 2018, so I had my everything removed because I had a total hysterectomy, so there won't be any more children. Where are you originally from? So I'm not from Michigan like a lot of people would think, since I've been here my whole life. I'm actually from Virginia, in a small town right outside of Richlands. That's where I was born, was in Richlands. But me and my mom moved here from Virginia to Michigan about, maybe when I was 1 or a little under 1. We moved here and ended up, living with my stepdad, who now my mom's no longer married to, but he's still my dad. He'll still be my dad. I don't talk to my biological father. That relationship is done and over with, and if there's more information you want on that, I can elaborate on another video, but that could be for another time and place, because I would probably bore you by talking about it, and it would take over this whole Q&A, and I don't want to do that. But we don't have contact. We haven't had contact in about 7.5 years, and it's just best that way. Number 7, what are your hobbies or interests? So I don't get a lot of free time to do anything really fun or for myself, but I do like to play the Nintendo Switch with my son. That's one thing I really enjoy doing. But I do like reading in my free time, or any spare time that I do get. It's very, very fun for me. Number 8, if you were able to have more kids, how many would you have want? Well, if I was able to have more kids and, that was an idea at all for me. I wanted 3 kids. That was, what we talked about when we first got married, that we wanted to try for a family, and then we didn't know I'd struggle with infertility, which that's a whole nother video I could do about regarding my journey with trying to conceive and then infertility. But if I truly had it my way and our way, then we would have had 3, so we would have had 2 more. Number 9, where is your favorite place you've traveled so far? So I haven't really went to many places, but the one place that I feel was my favorite when I was younger that we traveled to was Florida. My dad and mom, or my stepdad and my mom, took me and my sister there for like a family trip, probably when I was 15, so maybe like close to 16 years ago. But it was always so enjoyable because my dad took us there for many years. Like every summer we would go up until about then, and then as we got older it just wasn't in the cards anymore, so that would be my favorite trip. Number 10, what states have you visited? So I visited Las Vegas, Nevada, and I visited Orlando, Florida, and we've been to Arkansas, Illinois, Missouri, Ohio, obviously Michigan because I live here, and then North Carolina, South Carolina, and then Kentucky I've been to. Alright, number 11, favorite genre of music. My favorite genre has changed over the years. I used to be into pop and rock music, but now that I'm older, I've leaned more towards country music. That's just more my thing, and that's just more my style, and I like that kind of music. Just my favorite singer would probably be Luke Bryan, truthfully. Alright, number 12. Who is your favorite singer? My favorite singer is definitely Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean by far. And number 13. Where do you work? So I have been in between jobs for the last couple months, but I found a new job, and I actually start this coming up Monday, which when you see this, it'll be tomorrow technically that I'll start it. I got a job at a local doctor's office. I am a medical assistant full-time. So I just found a new job from my last one, and I was, the same kind of job title, a medical assistant at a doctor's office, but the place I found now is a lot closer to home and it's more pay, so that's why I jumped on it and decided to take it, and pretty decent money. I mean, I'm not going to be rich by any means, but it's comfortable income right now. Number 14, where does your spouse work? Right now my husband does not work. He got let go back in March when the pandemic started. So he's just been a stay-at-home parent for the last 9 months, truthfully. He has not worked because finding a job right now during the pandemic when he was a cook has been really hard. So, he's applied and applied and applied, and there's been no go. So that's when I ended up looking for a job these last couple of months, just to try to get out of the house and then make some money. Instead of just living on the one income, because unemployment was not enough to live on, if that makes sense. Between car payment, bills, rent, house necessities, groceries, all that just wasn't doable for our family. But he was a cook before he got laid off, and he has been a cook for at least 15 years, if not longer. So that's just what he used to do, but now he's unemployed right now. Number 15. Where is one place you want to travel if money wasn't a problem? One place I'd really love to go to is Hawaii. That's just been a dream of mine. I love the beach. I love the nice warm weather. I don't do well in the cold. Like, we live in Michigan, and the weather is just always cold. Snowy in the winter, rainy, chilly. Like, we get maybe 2 good months of really nice weather here in Michigan. Other than that, it's either cold or raining most of the time. Alright, number 16. How to describe yourself. I would describe myself as I'm laid back. I do tend to worry a lot. That's somebody who I am. I struggle with anxiety and depression, which it's no secret. A lot of people know about it, and it's something that I've struggled with for many, many years. I do see a doctor for it, but I'm not on medications for that. I just haven't found for that to be something that I'm truly into, if that makes sense. So that is one thing that would be to describe myself. And my mom would say that I worry a lot, and I tend to just think about things too far in the future. Like, I just think about it way too much, and it's not good. I'd also describe myself as easy to get along with. I'm always putting others before myself. I'm very good at making sure other people's needs are met before my own. Like, I'm always putting my son before myself. Like, if it comes to him needing clothes for school or, and anything like that, then he's always first priority. All right, number 17. What is your favorite pop? So my favorite pop for the longest time used to be Cherry Pepsi, but now I'm kind of into, I like Cherry Coke and I like Mountain Dew. That's probably my favorite. They're not good for you, but they're definitely my favorite pops. All right, number 19. Do you have any siblings? If so, how many? So I do have 2 siblings. I have a younger sister who's going to be 22 in January, and then I have a little brother that will be, that just turned 8. And I'm the oldest of the 3 of us, and I'll be 31 in February. Number 18. What is your favorite kind of food? So I'd say my favorite kind of food would be probably Mexican food. That'd probably be my ultimate favorite. I love like tacos, chips and queso, and salsa. Number 20. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Well, I see myself staying at the same job that I currently have, living in the same house. I just hope that maybe we would financially be more stable in the next 5 years, I would hope. That's probably one of the main things that's really important to me, is just making sure that money and being financially stable and kind of like ahead of the game in all sorts of situations with finances. Number 21. Do you like your job? Why or why not? So I love the job as a medical assistant. I haven't started this job that I'm about to start Monday. I've not started yet, so I won't know for sure if I like it, but I'm pretty sure I will. People that work there I've talked to said they actually love it. And I did training there for 2 days, like computer work and whatnot like that. So I did computer training for about 2 days last week. So it's something that I really enjoy as medical assistant. I love helping others. I love being there for other people and being able to help them in the best way that I can. What is your favorite animal? So my favorite animal would probably be an elephant or a monkey. What is your favorite color? So I'm sure a lot of people know. My favorite color is pink. I've always been a big tomboy and just always wore like hoodies and sweatpants or hoodies and leggings. That's just the most comfortable for me, and I feel, it's more of a comfort thing, especially since all day when I go to work I wear scrubs. So it's like I want to come home and relax and throw on some leggings and some a sweatshirt and just relax. Number 24. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? Well, it used to be Pepsi, but now I'm leaning more towards Coke. Like, that's typically all I buy for myself. 25. What is your favorite memory that you had as a child? So my favorite memory as a child was probably when we were younger. My dad and my mom would take my sister and I on vacation every single year. We would go to Florida or Las Vegas. It always depended by the year, like what we would do and, prices of tickets at that time and all that. So I would probably say just traveling a lot and going on vacation as a family, because now that my mom and dad are divorced and we're older, we don't live in the house anymore. Like, it's just looking back at those memories and realizing you really do miss those times, and we shouldn't take for granted those times that we did have. And it's like really good to look back on those and have memories. Like, we have tons of pictures and stuff from when we were traveling a lot and stuff like that. So it was really nice to just, be able to look at those memories and always have them with you. All right, number 26. What is one misconception others may have about you? So a very big one that people have said about me that's far from the truth is that I'm snobby and that I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? That I'm snobby and that I'm better than you, when that is absolutely not true. People take it a lot differently, and they take it with a grain of salt. Like, they think I'm how do I say it? They think that I'm not very easygoing, that I'm snotty just because I don't talk to people. But they fail to realize that I struggle with social anxiety. So meeting new people or being in big crowds or gatherings that are like, more than 5 people, that brings me really anxiety. So much anxiety that I don't really like to be in big groups like that because it makes me super nervous. So when I'm quiet like that because of gatherings, people think of that as I'm not enjoying myself or that I'm just snobby and I'm not very nice, which that is far from the truth. I'm actually very opposite of that. I'm actually very kind. I'm thoughtful. I get along with just about anybody. If you're good to me, I'm good to you. Knowing what I know now, what would you change from your past? If I knew then, what I know now would be to never take little things for granted and to always enjoy your childhood a little more than you have. Because if I knew that then, what I knew now, then I would have changed those things to where it would make more sense as an adult, like learn new things, be open to more and not just living in the moment, which I've been really good about, living in the moment and not just enjoying things and taking things day by day. Because if you look too far into the future, you're not really going to enjoy the current moments that are going on and the things that are going on around you. All right, number 28. What is one thing you would change about yourself? The one thing that internally that I would change about myself would be my lack of confidence. That's probably one thing, like deep in my heart, that I've struggled with for many years is confidence and being able to like make sure that I'm worthy enough, because I never feel like I'm worthy enough, which my husband has never made me feel unworthy. That's not even in my mind at all, because he's far from that. It's just when you struggle with social anxiety, depression, regular generalized anxiety, it's just something that is always going to be there. And it's one thing that I would love to change about me, because I'm just not very confident in myself. And I think maybe if I lost weight, maybe I'd feel better about myself. But truly, I am just one that is always negative, because that's how, I felt like I was raised that way, to where if it wasn't perfect, it wasn't good enough. So I'm always looking on the negative side of things. So then when something does go good, then it's exciting. If something doesn't go good, I don't get my expectations that high, because I don't want to be let down. So I've always been like that. That's one thing that my dad always taught us, to never settle for less than what you deserve and always strive for 110%. Never strive for 100%, he would say. Always strive to get 110% on everything you do in life. All right, number 29. What is your worst pet peeve? So my worst pet peeve is when, one thing in particular, my husband will throw his laundry in the hamper. Well, he actually doesn't throw it in the hamper. He'll throw it beside the hamper when it's a foot away from where he just threw his clothes. So that's one big thing that really bothers me. Then another one that's really a pet peeve is when our garbage can is overflowing and my husband and my son will just keep piling and piling and piling and don't want to take it out. So they'll just keep piling until somebody finally acknowledges it. And then I have to bring it up and say, hey, honey, would you take out my garbage? So it's always funny, because that's how a lot of men are anyway. Number 30. What is something you get complimented on a lot? I would say the main thing that I get a lot of compliments on is that I'm always putting others before myself. Like, I'm always making sure somebody else's needs are met before mine. That I'm always looking out for the best interests of somebody else other than myself. Like, that is something that has always, always, always been something for somebody to comment on in a nice way. And that actually makes me feel good that I'm actually valued enough for people to look that, deep into me and know that's who I truly am. Number 31. If you would have had a girl, what would she have been named? So if I would have had a girl, her name would either have been Sophia or Aliana. That was 2 names that we really, really liked. That would have been like if we had girls instead of a boy, or if we had future other children, after my son, we would have definitely named them Sophia or Aliana or Anna. I mean, we liked the pronunciation of Aliana and Aliana, so it wasn't like one or the other. It's just we liked both of them. Number 32. What is your biggest strength? My biggest strength, that's a tough one because I don't ever see like that I'm good at a lot of things, even though that's not what I should think about myself. But I would say my biggest strength would be how hardworking I am and how determined I am to make sure something is done the correct way. I don't like to half-ass things, if that makes sense. Excuse my language, by the way, but I don't like to just half-ass things. I like to get them done the right way, the correct way, and most perfect as I can. What is your biggest weakness you have? So I would think the biggest weakness that I might have is always feeling like I have to explain myself to somebody. And another one is being negative. That's my biggest weakness. So I would say that always having to like tell people things to reassure them that that's not who I am. Like I always feel like I'm always having to explain myself, if that makes sense. Like always making sure that people know that that's not who I am, and because I don't like to be judged, which I know everybody is judged without knowing somebody, and you've judged, somebody without knowing them, which we've all done it. I'm guilty of it too, but people, if they took the time to get to know me, they would know that my weakness is something that I struggle with, but I don't necessarily, force other people to believe that way. If they don't believe that about me, then that's fine, but that is a big weakness of mine. All right, there's only 2 more questions too. So, number 34. If you had to move, where would you live? So, if I had it my way and we could move and money wasn't an option, any of that good stuff like that, the one place I would love to move would be either California or Hawaii. I've always wanted to go there. I've always wanted to visit Los Angeles and Sacramento. I'm a big fan of Full House and Fuller House, so I'd love to go to, San Diego and maybe see like the Full House that they always filmed in, because I think that's the coolest thing. But I hear it's very expensive to live there. One of my good childhood friends used to live in right outside of San Diego. She said it was super expensive and she loved it, but it was just too much to afford rent, so they moved back here to Michigan. All right, number 35. What makes you the person you are today? So I'd say that what makes me who I am today is probably the way my dad raised me, which is my stepdad, but he's my dad. But the way he raised me is probably one of the things that has made me who I am today. He was always on us about doing our schoolwork. He was always making sure that we got our, chores done. Housework always had to be completed before we got to go to a friend's house or play on the computer or bike rides or have anybody over for the weekend for sleepovers. It was always stuff like that my dad would always instill into us. And he always would instill in our minds that we need to make sure that we are doing things for 110% and never settling for less than that. Alright, so I appreciate you guys listening to my Q&A today and sitting down and getting to know me and taking the time to watch this video. If there's any other questions you may have and I get enough of those questions, and I'll do a part 2 of this video. But if not, then maybe in the future I'll, pick it up and do another Q&A. I want to try and become more active on here. It's just that I now we'll be starting a new job Monday, and I'll be working at least, 40 hours a week. So I'll be base a lot of my time on working. So I'll try as much as I can to upload more than I have in the past, since I'm just new to YouTube. So really I make these videos just kind of like share my life with other people, and maybe they'll be able to see my perspective, and maybe they relate to me in the same way that they're going through the same things that I'm going through. And it's just nice to be able to share those things with other people, especially when you don't have really many friends and can't really vent to anybody or tell them your true feelings of how things are going and how you're feeling. So if you guys have any other questions for me and you'd like to know anything, just drop them down below in the comment box. The comments are on for this video as far as I know. Like, they haven't turned off comments or disabled them. So if you have any questions, just leave them down below. And then I'll see you guys for my next video. And if there's any other videos that you would like me to film other than Q&As, leave that down below. And I can also do sit-down videos, vlog styles, or, you know, answer questions about my infertility, battles, I'm trying to conceive, my hysterectomy, like what made me lean towards getting that surgery done and why that was an option at 2 years ago, but I only had it done at only 28 years old. And I'll be able to discuss endometriosis too, which is something I have. So if there's something like that that interests you, I can sit down and talk about it. Until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.